Hi, welcome to this edition of Sojourners Along the Way. Does that picture give you an idea of what this program is going to be focusing on? I want to give you a heads up. Lots of happiness in this program, but there are some sad elements too. So I hope you'll stick with us throughout the entire program because hopefully it will be very helpful to you. This program is focusing on honoring mothers. Mother's Day 2018 is May the 13th. So I hope this program will encourage you that you will do something for your mom or a mom in your life. Doesn't have to just be your mom because some people, like myself, my mom is no longer with me. But hopefully this program will be one that gives you some ideas of what your mother went through for you, and also for the mother, another mother in your life, like your wife, or your sister, or your daughter, another mother, okay? How many people have explored what actually happens during a pregnancy? That's what this next image is showing. This clip shows you what happens during the different stages of a pregnancy. And I don't know if you've ever seen the development of a baby, sometimes called a fetus, and what happens during each of the different stages. It's very interesting that in the 12 weeks that you can already distinguish whether you're going to have a boy or a girl, if you want to know. I think it's fun that there are some parents nowadays that are saying, no, we don't want to know, we want to wait and be surprised. How about in 16 weeks, the fingers and the toes are developing. By 20 weeks, hearing has been started, so the child is aware of sounds. And there's a story of a professional, I think she was a violin player, who while she was pregnant kept on practicing what she had to know for the orchestra. And after her baby was born, they noticed that whenever she was practicing, the baby's head would turn towards the direction of her mother playing the music. So sound is very important. That would be a great time to start telling your child, I love you. By the 24th week, the lungs are developing. 28, the brain is growing rapidly. And by the 32nd week, the bones are fully developed. 36th week, muscles are developed. And by the 40th week, you have a full-term child ready to pop. So you may want to learn some of the stuff that goes on in between. In fact, I really want to put in a plug. Some people say, well, women have babies all the time. Why do I have to go to see an OB? I don't need an OB. I just have to have this baby, that's all. Well, there's a lot of things that can happen between the moment of conception until the moment of delivery. And you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of all of the science, the medical science that has been developed, that they are able to do things like surgeries prenatal, before the baby is born. So if there's something that needs to be done, find out. And you also want to have the well check, so go see an OB. All right, please take good care of yourself while you're pregnant. This image is a 4D image, and I would love to see a real 4D image and in a doctor's office. That's fascinating. So I hope you'll enjoy all of the images that are going to be shown in this program. While I was preparing for this program, I kept on coming across materials that said 28 weeks, during the 28th week of pregnancy. And I was like, what is it about the 28th week? Well, you're going to find out in a little bit. But in the 28th week, the fetus, the preborn baby, is about 10 inches long and weighs approximately 2 pounds 3 ounces. The mouth and lips show more sensitivity. The eyes are partially open and can perceive light. More than 90% of babies born at this age will survive. Some survivors may have developmental delays and chronic health conditions. Again, pregnancy during week 28. The baby is starting to run out of room in the womb. Over the next several weeks, the kicks and bumps and jumps will get a little less. That's to the thankfulness of the mother who has to receive those kicks and the jumping. And that becomes a little less often as the baby begins to lose space. The baby's fine, I'm not too sure about the pronunciation of this, langugo hair, the very fine hair during the prenatal stages, is beginning to disappear. The baby's muscle tone is improving weekly. And at the beginning of the third trimesters, weeks 25 through 28, there is rapid brain development occurring during this period, and the nervous system is able to control some bodily functions. The fetus's eyelids now open and close. At 25 weeks, there is a 60% chance of survival if born. The fetus is considered legally viable at 28 weeks, and there is a 90% chance of survival if born at this point. It is at this point that I realized why the 28th week was so important. It's very sad, but up until the 28th week, having an abortion is legal. But do you see how far along the baby has developed? I know some people just want to call it a piece of flesh, and it's no big deal. You're just getting rid of something that's unwanted. Well, here's the definition of an abortion. The deliberate termination of a human pregnancy, most often performed during the first 28 weeks of a pregnancy. That's why there was so much focus on the 28th week. This next clip isn't the easiest one to look at, but I wanted to include it because I want to encourage you. You need to see, you need to know. If you're debating whether to have an abortion or not, if you've watched other programs that I have talked about pregnancy, I am big on adoption. I really am. This is what it looks like when a baby is aborted after 11 weeks. At 11 weeks, you can see that was a fully recognizable baby. These are some of the words that are associated with adoption. And there are so many couples out there that want to have a baby, and yet for one reason or another are not able to themselves, and so they're looking to adopt. Please, I like to say adopt rather than abort. Consider it. There are agencies out there that will help you. You can get free counseling and ultrasounds. I think that's one of the greatest things. You can see your baby and hopefully change your mind about having an abortion. Go for the adoption. It makes a family. When I was looking for things about adoption, I kept coming across this picture, so I figured, okay, I'll share it with you. It doesn't make any difference the color of the child and the color of the parents. What matters is the love that is shared. Giving a child a home. Please consider that. There are all kinds of babies out there to be adopted, and I just wanted to give you a couple of clips showing you the beautiful babies that are in need of homes. So again, I want to encourage you. Please, please, go ahead, have the baby, and then give it up for adoption, okay? Here's one family. They already have 2 kids, And it says, hoping to adopt again. Now, I don't know, was only one child adopted or were both of those babies adopted? I think that's tremendous, and I applaud them for wanting to adopt yet another child. The most that I personally am aware of is a family who adopted 8 children, and some of them had medical issues and needed special attention and help. So please, there are lots of babies out there. This is a story, and it's a true story, from Chicken Soup for the Soul. I think the focus was on mothers, and it ties right into adoption. And I applaud this mother for what she did with her daughter. The title is called My Mom and My Mother. I never knew my mother. I don't know what her laugh sounded like, or if she was afraid of the dark, or if she liked the beach. The Catholic adoption agency she surrendered me to didn't know very much about her either, but I know that she loved me enough to make sure I had a good home. I grew up in a house full of laughter and hugs, with church on Sundays, a backyard with pink rose bushes, chocolate bunnies on Easter, and stockings to hang on Christmas Eve. I attended dance lessons, voice lessons, swim team, and softball, and we said grace as a family before every meal. In the room I shared with my sister, I slept on the top bunk, and I had my own desk with my own plastic typewriter that I used to tap out lists of dreams. My mom took us to the library every week, volunteered as room mother for my class every year, and let me lick the spoon when she baked cookies. I remember her preparing me for my classmates' taunts that she wasn't my real mother, and that it was too bad my biological mother didn't want me. And when they came, I was ready for them. I fiercely defended a woman I had never met because my mom let me know how much that woman loved me. I was raised to understand the sacrifice my mother made for me. I learned of her frequent visits to the foster home I was in before deciding on an official placement for me. She knew she could not provide a life for me, and as hard as it was, she decided to give me a chance at a real life. My mom discussed all this with me and helped me understand how much love it took to make the choice my mother did. Every year on my birthday, my mom would tell me with a hug, "Say a prayer for your mother today. I know she is thinking of you." And after she left, I would pray for the mother I didn't know. I hoped she could somehow know that I was happy and healthy, loved and secured. I have 2 amazing moms. One put herself last in order to give me a life full of love, experiences, and security. And one wrapped her arms around me and never let me forget how much both of them loved me. Adoption equals love. That was by Beth Bryce. I gave birth to you. I loved you first. I love you still. I always have and always will. Your Mama. Raising kids was one of the best things I did in my life. All the worry, pain, and pleasure was worth it. No matter how old they get, they will always be in my heart. They gave my life new meaning, and I am so glad. They are the beat of my heart, the pulse in my veins, and the energy of my soul. They are my kids. A few things your mom may have not told you. She loves you more than herself. She has watched you while you were sleeping. Every time you are upset, her heart sinks. You make her life meaningful. She thinks you are 1 in a million. You are the best thing that has ever happened to her. Ask your mom about that. Would she say those things to you? I think a lot of moms, hopefully all moms, would agree. You're 1 in a million. Until you've counted little fingers, counted little toes, held a little hand, kissed a little nose, soothed a little tummy, read to little ears, powdered a little booty, wiped away tears, you haven't known love. Now, I would want to qualify that because obviously you do know love in many, many other ways, but the love between a parent, because I would say this not just about mothers, but about fathers, that they do these things too. That's a special love, very special love between a parent and a child. A mother is the only person who carries you for 9 months in her belly. Should we correct that and say, is the only person who carries you for 9 months in her womb, 3 years in her arms, and forever in her heart. I've carried a child within my body, slept with them on my chest. I've kissed little toes and wiped away tears. I've been vomited on, peed on, and spent sleepless nights cradling my child. But I wouldn't have it any other way. My body isn't magazine perfect, but when I look in the mirror, I see a mom, and there is no greater honor, love, or blessing. I adore his smile, I cherish his hugs, I admire his heart, but most of all, I love that he is my son. And I want to add that the things that talk about sons can also go for daughters. And this next one that's going to be about a daughter can also be about a son. I love you, my daughter, my son. Wasn't it yesterday that you were a baby in my arms? I looked at your precious face and wondered where life would take you. Today, I look at the person you've become, strong, kind, thoughtful, caring, and optimistic, and I realize that the dreams I held in my heart for you are alive in your beautiful spirit. I am so proud of you, and I love you with all my heart. This one talks about daughter, but again, it could be a son too. If I could give my daughter 3 things, it would be the confidence to always know her self-worth, the strength to chase her dreams, and the ability to know how truly, deeply loved she is. Knowing that you are loved is on the top of the list of a need that each and every single human being has, the need to know that they are loved. So please, tell your mother you love her, and as a mother, please, tell your children how much you love them. Even though they may not look like they want to hear it, they may act like they don't care, they still need to hear it. Grandparents, I say the same thing to you. Let your grandchildren know how much they are loved. Just recently I heard of 2 suicides in one of the local high schools. It may be bullying, there may have been other things, but let them know that they are loved, and hopefully that love will help them overcome the mountains that they have to climb over, the things that they have to work through. They need help, no matter what the age. They need to learn to have confidence in themselves, to have the strength, and to know that they are deeply loved. Have you ever thought about what your mom would like for you? What your mom thinks of you? What your mom would like for you? This is a mom's greatest wish. My greatest wish is that my children always know how much I love them, and that they will walk through the rest of their lives knowing that I will always be there if I can, no matter what their age. Have you ever heard it said that you are always your mother's baby, no matter how old you get to be? I don't know if you've experienced that yet, or if you had that experience in the past, or you will have it in the future, depending upon where you are in life at this moment. But I know that prior to my mom's death, that was her way. I was always her baby. I was her only daughter, two older brothers, 3 children. But even when I was an adult, in college, she still considered me to be her baby. I guess that can be said about all mothers. To my child, I worry if you are tired and how your day has been. I pray that you are happy and surrounded by friends. A part of me still needs to hear these things from you. Many days you are busy, but a simple, "Hello, I'm fine," definitely will do. You are an adult now, and you have told me so, but the parent in me can never completely let you go, as you will always be my baby deep in my mind, and sometimes I need to hear, "Hello, Mom, I'm doing fine." I thought this was really cute, so I had to include it. That is an ultrasound, if you've never seen one, but the title is, it's a throwback to the last time my kid was quiet. And then I thought, I wonder how many pregnant moms would agree with that, particularly when the baby's doing all the kicking and stuff. Except that's without noise, right? It's just being kicked. But throwback to the last time my kid was quiet. This one is titled Letter from Mother to Son. However, I think it could also be a letter from a mother to a daughter, so I want to be all-inclusive. I gave birth to you, but you didn't come with instructions. I know I made mistakes along the way, and for those, I am sorry. This leads right into what I am going to read. I contacted a friend of mine and asked if she would like to be a part of this program, and since Sachiko and her family live in the Columbus area, we did this by email, so I'm going to read what she wrote. And I think it's really fascinating. Sachiko's birthday happens to be May the 13th, and this year Mother's Day is on May the 13th. So I hope she got double the presents for birthday and Mother's Day. Motherhood is a scary thing. There is no way to be a mother without God's help. When Yukiko was a baby, it was scary how much power and responsibility God gave me to trust me with a baby who is so vulnerable and totally dependent upon me for every need. It was scary how much I was supposed to know about her. From the moment she was born, I was expected to know everything about this person I just met for the first time in my life. Everyone asked me what she was thinking and feeling. The major decisions were made based upon my words, but she was not communicating anything to me in any language I understood. I thought we were not supposed to read someone else's mind. What would happen if I was completely off? It has been scary to keep up with changes. Everything seemed to change the moment I said, "Okay, I got it. I know how to do this." I never get to enjoy the skills I mastered. I'm constantly a beginner. Then, the storms of why, which seems to never really end. I had to revisit every little thing I took for granted in life and had to explain why we do what we do. Well, I learned this. If why we do what we do could not be explained by the Word of God, it is really not worth doing it. And honestly, what I said and did in the dark behind the closed door was shouted or acted out in the broad daylight. Better behave, or everyone in the world knows what I have done. The important lesson I taught her was, Mommy is not God. Mommy does wrong, quite often. There are many more scary things in motherhood, but the two scariest of all are these: how often I have to stand up against the world like a complete fool for her sake. If I don't, who would? And how powerless and incapable I am of protecting her. So I get on my knees, asking God, who is always with her and can do everything for her, to be merciful to us and protect her throughout the day. Then I get up, grab her in my arms, and shout like a fool, "You're still the best child I ever had." And she laughs and reminds me, "Mommy, I'm your only child." Since Sachiko's family lives in the Columbus area, I asked her to send her ideas and Yukiko's words to me in an email. I asked Sachiko not to look at what Yukiko wrote, so Sachiko instructed her daughter, "Write something about your mother. Don't show it to me. When you are done, hit the blue box which says send." How many of you would be so brave? And this is exactly what Yukiko wrote. "My mom is wonderful, awesome, loving, and sometimes annoying. Still, I love her so much." Well, Yukiko, the times you think Mom is annoying, stop, look, and listen. This is Patricia talking to Yukiko, or Aunt Patricia, as Yukiko calls me. Most likely, you need to stop and see what is happening from a different perspective. Listen, and you'll hear love coming from your mother. And I know your mother loves you very much. I think this is a good one to follow Yukiko's statement, and I could hear this being said about Yukiko to her mother. My mother. My mother is a woman like no other. She gave me life, nurtured me, taught me, dressed me, fought for me, held me, shouted at me, kissed me. But most importantly, she loved me unconditionally. There are not enough words to describe just how important my mother is to me, and what a powerful influence she and continues to be. Mother, I love you. My mom raised me right. I did wrong on my own, 100%. And I want to free mothers from guilt of saying, "Oh no, what did I do wrong? How could I have done things differently? I should have done this, or I could have done that." No, Mom. You did what you felt was the right thing and the best thing at that time. We have to remember, individuals make their own choices. So I'm really pleased that this kid had the courage to say, "My mom raised me right. I did wrong on my own." This is a little sad, but it'll give you an example. A couple had two sons. One grew up to become a police officer. The other one, sadly, wound up spending some time in prison. Same parents, but two different children. You may only have three, like Sachiko's family, mother, father, child. But each one is an individual and has so many things going on inside. What one person does in a situation, another one will react differently. So moms, please, Set you free from the guilt of what did I do wrong. In fact, my mom, when I was an adult, had a conversation with me about how she felt she had done some things wrong. And I was like, Mom, no. I think you were a great mom, you are a great mom, and I was very thankful. I want to put in a plug, please. Appreciate your moms. My mom, as I've said on other programs, and I'll probably say it in future ones, my mom left way too young. She was killed in a car accident, totally unexpected. You never know. You never know when the last time you see your mom or your father is going to be literally the last time. So moms, set yourself free. Just enjoy being a mom. And kids, offspring, appreciate your moms and what they did. Let them know you love them. Say those words. Let them become a really good habit. And that leads right into, I'm sorry. Mom, I'm sorry for all the things I did when I was a kid. Will you please take off the curse that my kids would be 10 times worse than me? I can't take it anymore. Did any of your moms say to you, you just wait. Wait until you're a parent, and then you'll understand, then you'll see. And I hope that your kids give you 10 times the problems that you gave me. Now, as an adult, as a parent yourself, have you thought that? What did I do to my mom when I was a kid? So, repent. It's a good thing to do. Tell your mom you're sorry. It's okay. It's never, never, never too late to say that you're sorry about something. Let your mom know that you appreciate her. You appreciate what she did for you. So many kids have no idea the sacrifices that moms will make because they're a mom and they put their child first. Call your mom. Tell her you love her. Remember, you're the only person who knows what her heart sounds like from the inside. I love to do programs and include things about perspective. And this is something I never thought about. Now, of course, we may not be able to remember what her heartbeat sounded like, but think about that. You may have siblings, so you're not the only one. I have 2 older brothers, so they got to hear my mom's heartbeat before I did. But you did get to hear your mom's heartbeat from the inside. That's pretty special. In fact, I would even use the word miracle. Birth is a miracle. This is a really neat quote from Abraham Lincoln. I don't know how they're teaching history nowadays, whether students in school are being taught about Abraham Lincoln, but when I was in school, he was one of my favorite presidents to study. So it was fun coming across a quote by him, and it's about his mother. All that I am or ever hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. And again, that was by Abraham Lincoln. This next quote is from Billy Graham, and I thought in his honor, he was such a powerful man of God and had a lot of wisdom. I hope you'll take advantage of going to his website, because you can listen to some of his sermons because they have them in the archives. And this is a very wise statement. A child who is allowed to be disrespectful to his parents will not have true respect for anyone. Respect is something that needs to be taught. It does not come automatically. And there have been times I have been in a grocery store or some other store, and the things that I heard coming out of some kids' mouths to their mother, usually it is the mom, sadly. I don't think a child would try to do some of the things with their fathers that they do with their mothers. But some of the things I've heard, the yelling, the screaming, the tantrums going on, I wanted to go over and tell the kid to knock it off. That is no way to talk to anybody, but especially not to talk that way to their mother. And what happens in public, multiply it, because usually what happens in private, at home, is even worse than what is happening in public. Again, help the kids to learn respect. The next thing that is going to be on the program is a clip a friend sent in, and I think that the foundational problem was probably he didn't have any respect for his mom when he grew up, and it just multiplied into his marriage.
Hi, I'm Shelley Sherwood. I was Shelley Bible. I used to live in Athens, Ohio about 5 years ago. When I saw that on the closed Facebook page about the Women of Destiny, and Patricia was asking for people to comment, write, do videotapes like I'm doing, whatever, just saying of people that have been mothers to them, and of course our mothers, but then right off the bat I just felt God nudging me to let you know, two people that, try not to cry, but two people that were really instrumental in helping me and mothering me in a time 5 years ago, and stood by my side for about 4 years when I was going through some really bad stuff, and that was Tammy Gardner and Beth Ash, both part of the Women of Destiny group. And like I said, many other women that were standing beside me and were my sisters, my prayer warriors, just wonderful, wonderful people. But those two people came to mind, and I love them dearly. I just wanted to say they were there for me. I was going through a horrific time, and they and my daughter was going through a horrific time, and I knew that I could go to them and they would be what I needed for them to be, and they wouldn't let me wallow in pity. They wouldn't let Anna wallow in pity. They encouraged me, and they were just people that I knew that I could trust with secrets. I knew that I didn't have to start my story over every time I talked to them, and I knew that they were available 24/7, even though they had children and lives and husbands. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your comfort, just the hugs, the love, the counsel, such wise counsel. And I knew that they were guided with godly counsel. So we would be in the Word, we would pray together, they would pray when I was not there. Especially with the counsel they gave my daughter at the time. She, of course, was going through a horrible time as well, and she was dealing with some really severe situations, dealing with depression, and betrayal, loss, so many things that was magnified because she was young. And I could trust Tammy, and I could trust Beth to counsel her and to love on her, and she knew that she was safe with them, and they were very instrumental in her life. And so I'm just extremely thankful for that. And just to say that I believe from the prayers of all those women, so many people there, so many other people that I could name, and the love that you all gave me, and Anna, we are thriving, beauty from ashes. And I am happily married today, as most of you know, and Anna's doing really well. She's an adult. She's 21. She adults well most days, and so the adulting thing is hard for her some days, but she's just really thrived with the love that she was given then, and the unconditional love. And like I said, those two special women that came to mind, Beth Ash and Tammy Gardner, your love just will always mean something special in my life. Thank you.
Okay, to lighten this up a little bit after such a serious clip, I couldn't resist this when I found it. I don't know why it was included in the material that I was researching for, but hot flash, that moment where you just can't take it anymore. And I'm going to tell a personal story because I am very thankful. I am on this side of it, but I want you to know, you don't have to. You don't have to go through it. And I wanted to include this because I have a friend right now who is going through menopause and hot flashes. I never had any hot flashes. And when I talked to my doctor and I was telling my doctor what I felt was going on, my doctor's response to me was, don't rush it. You're too young. And I was like, I'm trying to tell you what's really going on. And my doctor's response was, you're too young. I was like, okay. So, you know, you can tell. 1 month you're menstruating, the next month you're not, and then the next month you're not, and the next month you're not. Then my conclusion is, you're probably not going to menstruate anymore. I'm not going to be menstruating anymore. And I was very thankful because I did not go through any hot flashes. So, for all those that are going through the hot flash season, please relax and start praying. Because my main prayer was that Jesus took the curse on the cross. And you've heard it said it's the curse. Not just menopause, but the whole thing. Wish guys could experience that. I think they'd have a little bit more empathy for the women in their lives if they did. You women out there, do you agree? Love to hear from you. And let the guys know. Be kinder, be nice, be understanding. And if you are married to a woman going through menopause, she needs a lot more love, care, understanding. If she's having hot flashes in the middle of the night and throws all the covers off in the middle of winter, be understanding, because it's not fun and it's not something that can be controlled. But again, I want to emphasize, start praying now. I prayed, I don't know how long I prayed before that time. And it's like, God, your word says that Jesus took the curse upon him. And since we use that phrase to describe the curse, I felt it was very fitting. I didn't have to go through it. And I am very thankful I did not. Hey, let's hear it for grandparents, grandmas. And please, if your grandparents are living, appreciate them. That's your mother's mother, your father's mother. Let them know you love them and thank them for your parents. Because if they didn't give birth to your parents, you wouldn't be here. And I double say that because by the time I was a teenager, all of my grandparents were gone. I never knew my father's mother because she died when my father was a teenager. So he didn't really get to know her very much. But on the side of grandmothers, 99% of a child's awesomeness comes from their grandmother. Just saying. Yay, Grandma, you go. Grandma, a little bit parent, a little bit teacher, and a little bit best friend. I want to change that. Instead of saying a little bit best friend, how about a lot best friend? I hope you do have a very positive relationship with your grandmother, all of your grandparents. Their love extended. And I hope you have the kind of grandparents that like to have fun. So we should put that in there too. Someone to play with. A lot of fun. A grandmother is like an angel who takes you under her wings. She prays and watches over you, and she would give you anything. And we could say that about a mom too. This is the part where I was saying, you don't know how many sacrifices have been made on your behalf. Include that for your grandmother. And if your grandmother is still living, it's okay to give her a Mother's Day card too. And it's okay, again, most people probably will be watching this program after Mother's Day. But if your grandmother is still alive, send her a card and tell her thank you. Because without her, your parents wouldn't be here, one of your parents wouldn't be here, and then you wouldn't be here either. And a grandmother is like an angel. I hope yours is. They take you under their wings, and they watch over you. I know that my mom at times would come in when I was sleeping, or she thought I was sleeping. I wasn't. And she would. She'd just stand over me and kiss me on my forehead. I think as an adult I did tell my mom that I knew that she had come into the room. That was a special moment. So, if you are a grandmother, you are a mother, create special moments with your children. Let them have memories tucked away that they can pull out in the future. Create a lot of special moments with the kids. Lots of fun things, positive things. Be creative and enjoy it too. I wish my mom was alive. I need to talk to her. Go ahead and talk to her and then listen. Learn to listen with your heart, not just your head. You might hear a response, not saying it's coming from your mom, but you had a lifetime of experience with your mom. You know the things that she would say in certain circumstances. So listen. Listen to your heart. Listen to your mind. They're stored in your memory. Let them come to the forefront and listen to her now. Maybe you didn't listen when you were a kid growing up, but it's never, never, never too late. And along those lines, my mom taught me everything except how to live without her. Yeah, I think you might be able to tell I've been thinking about my mom a lot lately, and I really do miss her. I really do. She was a great woman. In fact, as a kid growing up, I told people my mom is a saint. My mom is tremendous. She went through a lot. And we weren't bad kids. I think every mom goes through a lot. So I hope, even if you're watching this program after Mother's Day, it's okay. It's okay to call. It's okay to say, Mom, I was thinking about you. And Mom, I love you. And I'm doing okay. It's all right. You don't have to worry. And even though you say the words, you don't have to worry, I think that comes with a job description of being a mom, that moms come by worry naturally, rather easily. So keep saying the words. Keep telling her, don't worry, Mom, I'm okay, I'm fine. But in the back of your mind, you know your mom is going to worry. And it's okay to tell your mom now, even if she has passed on. And tell her you're trying to learn how to get by without her. It's okay to say, I love you, Mom. if you, like me, have a mom that has passed on, then we can just give a rose to our moms in heaven. That relationship does not end just because her life has ended. And like I said, my mom was in a fatal car accident. She died way too young, way, way, way too young. And I don't know what it is about this particular year. My mom's birthday happens to be right around Mother's Day. And so that makes Mother's Day a sad thing for me. But that's why I suggest focus on other mothers in your life, like my nieces who have children, and my friend Sachiko. That's very special that her daughter calls me Aunt Patricia. But I don't know how many of you have already lost your mom, but keep her in your heart. I've been finding myself recently going, wow, Mom, I am so sorry. I am sorry for the things I put you through when I was a kid. I am sorry that I didn't do some things that I know you would have appreciated, would have made you happy. And I'm sorry that I did some things, probably a lot of things, that she didn't appreciate. I know that we would say, well, that's all part of growing up. Yeah. But again, going back to what Billy Graham said, respect. If I had been more respectful, and I don't think I was horrible, but I probably would not have done some of the things that I did, and I probably would have done some things that I didn't do. So please, it's never too late. It's okay to just whisper it and say, Mom, I love you. Mom, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Mom, you were a great mom. Speaking those words, I don't know what your thoughts are, whether you would say, yeah, my mom can hear me or not, but you know what? It's not just whether she can hear you or not, it's for you. Because it will help you, it will make a difference. And I can say that from personal experience. And yeah, we'll address that during Father's Day because the same is true for our fathers. Mother, I miss you. My heart is with you. That tags along with what just talking about. Yeah, you miss your mom, and it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge it. It's okay to say it. It's healthy. It really is. Your mother. Although you cannot hear her voice or see her smile no more, your mother walks beside you still, just as she did before. She listens to your stories and she wipes away your tears. She wraps her arms around you and she understands your fears. It's just she isn't visible to see with human eye. But talk to her in silence and her spirit will reply. You'll feel the love she has for you. You'll hear her in your heart. She's left her human body, but your souls will never part. It's another way of saying your mom is still with you. She has to be. You have her DNA. And it's really interesting how science is able to find what child and what parent goes together by the DNA. So you are your mother's child. You are your father's child. You do have their DNA. So your mom is still a part of you, even though she may be in heaven. One day, when my children are grown, I hope they still come through the front door without knocking. I hope they head to the kitchen for a snack and slump on the sofa to watch TV. I hope they come in and feel the weight of adulthood leave them, for they are home. For my children, my door will forever be open. This one's from my cousin. Thank you for my being able to reunite with her through Facebook. Hanging out with your grown-up kids is like visiting the best parts of yourself. Again, your kids, your mom, your DNA, it's together. Hanging out with your grown-up kids is like visiting the best parts of yourself. Thank you, Valerie. 10 things your mom never told you. You made her cry a lot. She wanted that last piece of pie. It hurt. She was always afraid. She knows she's not perfect. She watched you as you slept. She carried you a lot longer than 9 months. It broke her heart every time you cried. She put you first. She would do it all again. Go through that list. I'm going to read it again. And see how many of these are true in your situation. And I'll challenge you, because I would say probably every single one of them is true, whether you're aware of it or not, or whether you would even admit it or not. 10 things your mom never told you. You made her cry a lot. She wanted that last piece of pie. It hurt. She was always afraid. She knows she's not perfect. She watched you as you slept. She carried you a lot longer than 9 months. It broke her heart every time you cried. She put you first. She would do it all again. Think about all that your mom did for you. And you don't have to tell your mom she's not perfect. She knows that. But you need to remember that. Nobody is perfect. And that includes you. What percentage of the fault was yours? It's okay for you to take the blame, even now as an adult. And it's okay to go and tell your mom you're sorry. That would be nice. Let there be healing. A lot of healing. She builds others up because she knows what it's like to be torn down. How many moms are like that? They were torn down. How many of you tore your mother up, tore her down? It's okay to repair the breach in the wall, to make amends, and again, to say you're sorry, and to thank her that even out of her woundedness, she was willing to build you up. The older I grow, the more I realize that my mother is the best friend that I ever had. I thought this would be a fun picture to end this edition of Sojourners Along the Way. A mother cupping the little tiny feet of her infant child. Love.